This is the Good Grief, Good God Show, where we feature raw, honest conversation about surviving things that suck, hosted by hit songwriter Brad Warren of the Warren Brothers. In episode 4, we welcome back a 3-time Emmy Award-winning journalist and former sports reporter and anchor at WSMV-TV in Nashville, who later transitioned into a career as a financial analyst, Aaron Solomon. But away from work, Aaron was simply a dad, raising his 2 children, Grant and Gracie, largely on his own for 6 years. Aaron and Brad share a tragic connection. Brad's oldest son, Sage, died in May of 2020 from an accidental fentanyl overdose. Just 2 months later, Aaron's son, Grant, lost his life in what 2 separate police investigations concluded was a tragic vehicle accident. Episode 3 was filmed in February 2025. This episode was taped 3 months later in May. But between those 2 tapings, Aaron's life was shaken once again when his ex-wife and the mother of his 2 children was arrested in April and later indicted in July for solicitation to commit first degree in an alleged plot to take Aaron's life so his daughter could gain access to inheritance. Today, Aaron reflects on the moment he learned about the alleged hire plot, the grief that continues to carry him from losing his son, and the toll that years of false accusations has taken on his life. And now, similar to episode 3, this begins the extended introduction. Skip ahead to approximately the 7-minute mark to jump directly into today's episode, but I'd encourage you to watch over the next few minutes. What you are about to hear is a 3-minute sequence of clips that speaks for themselves, compiled after reviewing more than 20 hours of podcast interviews and reading hundreds of pages of court documents. In the beginning, you'll hear 3 short clips from Aaron's daughter, Gracie, in a video she shared less than a year after Grant's death. One she believes represents the truth. A video that sparked widespread attention as she insisted the words were entirely her own. What follows is Angela, alongside her medium, contradicting Gracie's first claim. Interwoven in between 2 more of Gracie's clips is a clip of an attorney describing Gracie's video as an example of parent alienation and a clinical psychologist outlining the classic signs of that form of abuse, signs that mirror Aaron and Gracie's story. Then you'll hear a courtroom exchange from 2013 in between Angela and the judge, where she is unable to provide a clear answer to a very simple question. And then you'll hear from a podcaster who was ghosted by Angela along with other podcasters after each had encouraged their audience to donate to a GoFundMe campaign to help Angela independently investigate Grant's death. As of today, those funds are unanswered for. Finally, you'll hear from a former prosecutor and district attorney, Mark Davidson, explain how Angela's allegations were investigated, found not credible, and ultimately followed something far more serious. A quick disclaimer, this introduction and episode, although include documented facts, also include opinions and commentary. All reference videos in the official court transcript are cited in the episode description with direct links to each source and video. Additionally, Angela Solomon is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Here are the clips, followed by today's episode.
It's coming straight from me, it's on me, and no one else is telling me what to do.
Aaron immediately asked for her to be placed in DCS custody for this video that obviously she didn't
willingly do, but she did.
That she didn't write.
Ever since I was born, my dad has done awful things to me. First, he never let my mom bathe me.
I'm just going to ask all of y'all, who remembers who bathed them at 1 year old? I definitely don't, and I would use it to represent that these seeds were planted in her head, and then she began to believe them. And parental alienation is a form of abuse. And by God, I would take this to the box. This man is a victim of his children being turned against him, and it's really sad. But we see it so many times.
I hate my dad.
There is what we call a lack of ambivalence. The alienating parent is the wonderful parent. The rejected parent, I hate them and they're the devil. That's essentially the way it gets in severe alienation. Then we have what we call independent thinker phenomena. So when a child says, nobody's telling me what to do, I've come to this conclusion all by myself, it doesn't ring true.
Think about the whole story. Her parents, we know how much we love kids. Her parents are supporting you. That's loud.
Alienated kids will not only reject the other parent, but the other parent's entire extended family, grandparents, cousins, all of them get put into the same pot of demonized, and I don't want to have contact with him.
The court. Do you believe that Mr. Solomon has molested your daughter?
I do not know. I do not want to believe that. No. No, sir, I do not.
Do you believe these children have been nutritionally neglected?
I also do not want to believe that. This is who my children are with at this time.
When all this went down, Angie was with pretty much every creator she could get with. But then creator support started to fizzle out because Angie started ghosting everybody. But for me specifically, I had raised some money off of our platform. I wanted to follow up with her. Like, we can't keep asking people to give you money if we don't have updates. And she did eventually get back to me almost a year later.
When you back this up to the 30,000 foot view, what you have are extremely serious allegations being pushed out in public. These have been investigated and reported and looked at by law enforcement and DAs and found to be not credible, not chargeable, not prosecutable. And now we have her attempting to murder him. You know, when you back all that up and kind of look at it from a distance, you start to see what appear to be some credibility issues. She's now charged with soliciting a hitman.
Most false allegations of abuse come out in response to something that's going on in the legal case. Oftentimes, if you plot it out on a timeline, you will see certain events triggering these false allegations of abuse.
Yeah. And for me, my gift is also you can see people's weakness. Not everyone's going to be like, oh.
Matter of the state of Tennessee versus Angela Lee Solomon, where she's charged with solicitation of first degree Class B felony.
Earlier today at the state baseball tournament, Lipscomb playing CPA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because a friend of mine has.
Where is it?
Actually, at my sister's field at Peace Providence Christian. They're getting to host that classification this year.
And where is that school again?
Providence, not far from Oakland High School, between Oakland and the sports complex, Murfreesboro. Yeah.
Did you stay till the end?
No, I had to leave. No, I know Lipscomb lost. CPA jumped out on them early and they won. But so Lipscomb is turning around and playing again right now in a elimination game.
Okay.
Yeah. But their first baseman is a junior, and I know his parents. His mom won a state title in basketball with my sister.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Lipscomb's coach, who just only coached
Ernie
for 1
was
year.
there.
Not Ernie, but Brad Kuhn is the actual coach now. Ernie is Ernest's dad.
Yeah.
So
I knew that. Yeah.
But
Ernie was there.
Oh,
yeah,
good. That's cool. But Brad Kuhn, Sunday, it was stage day, and he just came by and dropped off flowers and a handwritten note about just very. He only coached Jude 1 year, and he didn't know Sage, and he's just a good dude.
That's nice.
Yeah, he's just a good. He is a good man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, back so soon. So this is not at all funny.
No, it's not funny, but it is. But it isn't. We have to just try to laugh at some of the stuff. Yeah.
It is. Well, first of all, you have to laugh at everything, and it is.
Yeah. If not, it can, because it's been a couple tough months, honestly. So
okay, so we're here several weeks, 6 weeks after.
7 or 8.
8 weeks after we shot before, and it hasn't aired.
Yeah.
What we shot before, and then and so in that 8 weeks, your ex-wife tried to put a hit out on you, and your dad died.
Yeah.
All in the same kind of little tiny time period, and so I had to sit you down and rehash that. First of all, I'm sorry. You've had as bad as anyone I could that I know. It's been rough, but actually, a great thing. I think a little bit it validates whatever people didn't believe that maybe there was something off and this person's been attacking you, and it's very obvious that there is something.
Yeah, it's made it tough to grieve my dad's death because he passed away on April 5th, and it was a quick, aggressive battle with cancer, and all of that was emotional leading up to that. His final week was super emotional with we kind of knew it was coming to an end. And so we told people, if you want to see him one more time and be able to talk to him, you need to come now. And so we were blessed in the fact that he had his cognitive awareness to be able to communicate and talk and share stories and memories. So the week leading up to his death, and it happened pretty quickly, it was a lot of people coming and me going into the hospital room and talking and being part of conversations with people he hadn't seen in a while, or some of his best friends. And same thing with my sister and my mom. And there was just a whole lot of emotions all week. And then literally we get him into hospice on Friday afternoon. He's joking with the hospice staff at 8:00 on Friday night, and he passes away at 5:00 the next day. And so it was sudden. And then literally 6 days later, my ex-wife gets arrested for trying to hire a hitman to kill me. And it's just like, what? I got the call notifying me. I didn't know it was going down until it happened. And they call me and I'm just like in shock. I'm just like, this can't even be reality, you know? And it's been a whirlwind since, obviously. And just all kinds of emotions between my dad dying, that happening, several court appearances with all of that. Also right now, as we are taping this, it's graduation time. So my son would be graduating college if he were on track. So all of his classmates, I'm seeing all of them graduating right now. And then my daughter, who I haven't spoken to in almost 5 years at this moment, is graduating high school tonight. So all of those emotions and the things that are brought up in court and seeing, you know, in just the few court appearances we've had, it's been an emotional roller coaster. Yesterday was tough. Last night was tough. Today has been tough.
Tonight
honestly.
will be tough. Yeah. This is a lot here. Your ex-wife tried to hire someone to kill you, and that person went to TBI or went to the authorities, and they had an undercover agent meet with her.
Yeah.
And they
recorded it.
Taped her.
Yeah. 45 minutes-ish. And that was played in its entirety pretty much in court several weeks ago, which was
surreal, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. And that was live streamed out to whoever wanted to watch it at the time.
So the thing that stands out to me for that is, and we'll talk about whatever you want out of it, but it was interesting to me that this person who's claiming that you killed your son and that your daughter, the fact that she was going to get money because your daughter would get money from a trust if you were dead, and then she could pay them. Is that accurate?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's what was said on the tape.
That's all pretty telling, isn't it?
I think so.
I mean,
I think
it's so obvious to you. And
yeah.
Honestly, it's pretty obvious to me, but I know that there are a lot of people out there, unfortunately, people just kind of believe what they hear and see. But that's kind of, if you spend 45 minutes with someone that you want to kill someone else, and the only reason it really comes up is financial, it kind of lets you know.
It was repeated.
And the issues that this person has been disparaging your character with for 5 years, I have to be honest, some people are going to remain crazy, whatever to do. But in my mind, this validates much of what you've been saying. By the way, and you haven't been out there painting the town with, because you know what everyone says, I'm innocent. Well, there's a lot of shit for you to have gone through. I'll be honest, when you told me this happened, and it was the day after, 2 days after, you just sent me the clip and I watched it. I was like, holy cow. And
it was that night. Yeah, it was that night, I think, or the next night.
So yes. My first thought was a relief of some sort for you, my friend, that went, okay, it's pretty obvious who the crazy person is in this story now. Do you feel any of that? Do you feel any relief? I know that's a crazy way to get relief.
I don't know if relief is the right word. Because it is it's hard to hear, no matter what, the mother of your children and the person you married, to speak so easily about wanting you dead. That's hard to hear. It's very hard to hear. And to have my daughter sitting in the courtroom that day, hearing all of that too, was surreal and hard. And my heart hurts for her because, and I can't remember if I said it before, but with all that's gone on, I feel like I failed in not protecting my daughter better from what has happened to her via her mother from a mental perspective.
You didn't really have any control over that.
Well, I could have not let the kids go see her as much. I could have enforced the parenting time according to the actual paper, and I let it be more lenient, and I didn't have to, but I felt like it was, I thought it was the right thing to do at the time, and to have, because I've always felt it was more important for the kids to have both parents in their life. But fast forward 7 years from when I made that decision to let them spend more time with her, and it was the wrong decision. And that hurts. That hurts because as a parent, you just want to protect your kids. You want to protect them. You want what's best for them. And what my daughters had to endure through all of this is heartbreaking. It's hard. That's the hardest part for me. It's hard to hear your ex-spouse and mother of your children just talk so easily about how they want you dead, but how it impacts so many other people too, other family members and both sides of the family. And
what are her parents thinking? Right. I mean, I know you know them and they talk to you.
Yeah. I mean, they're heartbroken. Everybody's heartbroken with everything. They're like, why all of this? None of this has to be like this, you know?
So maybe not relief, but is there some sort of validation?
Some validation. Yeah, some validation. And it's also somewhat alarming and disturbing how many of her supporters still want me dead and speak about it outwardly online. And you're like, so my head is still on a swivel every day. And that's not fun.
That's unbelievable. But
it's amazing.
By the way, wherever there's crazy, there's a group of people wanting to be it.
It's troubling.
That's
how many people.
Troubling. And honestly, have they did you listen to the tape? Did you hear the fact that she just wanted money out of it? This is not a I'll say this. I don't know your ex-wife. It doesn't matter. This is not a well person. This is a person who needs to be locked away, danger to herself and others, regardless of my opinion of the events before that. These people that are still following that don't know anything, that are saying stuff about you or following you to the gym or whatever, these people that don't have any idea what they're doing and try to like pile on someone just because they have a little bit of information, false as it may be. It's so interesting to me. We're a bunch of picketers. We're a bunch of, I never get political on here. It's just not part of the thing. And I don't care. It's not important. Like we do a lot of picketing in this country and gathering and
a lot of times people will picket and gather and
they have no idea what they're doing it for.
They haven't done the research, or they don't know all the facts,
and just the people on your wife's email list. I'm sorry. If you're watching this, you are that person. You haven't done the research. You don't know what it is. And
they've only heard one side of the story for a long time.
For a long time.
And I have been very quiet. Primarily leading up to now is because my daughter was a minor and I wasn't sure it would benefit her at all for both parents to be out here on social media or on a podcast or on a blog or on a TV show or a documentary or whatever. Kind of saying my side, although there's been plenty of times where I've wanted to, and there's plenty of times that my entire family wants to, and my ex-wife's family wants to, and my friends want to, and there have been times over the years where some friends have tried to like make comments or something, and they get blasted or attacked, and then they're just like, well, I can't win this battle, So it doesn't. I don't know. I guess it hasn't felt like it would accomplish a whole lot, but it might help and feel good for. I guess the main thing is if it could help my daughter see truth, to have the truth out there, that could be a plus. That's really the main.
If it can repair your relationship, I know you would do anything with your daughter. Yeah. I mean, look, the interesting thing is if she hadn't said you killed your son, the other things that you would have no way of knowing. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, I knew you before. Like, you loved your son more than anything. There's no way. And by the way, it also wasn't physically possible in the middle of the day in a parking lot, your son's car. This is not a well person. And the fact that there's so many people that will latch on to whatever she said. And by the way, it's really, really hurtful that she, however, what happened to your daughter, and the fact that one of your sadnesses about this is that the person you married and the mother of your children flippantly wants to have you killed. That's terrifying. But the people that are following or supporting her, if you watch 40 minutes of it, and she never brought up this person killed my son, this person molested my daughter. She said this person's going to leave a trust for my daughter and I'll have money. If that doesn't connect with you, I don't know what to say. I mean, you have Aaron Solomon derangement syndrome. You know what I mean? There are people that they literally, you have become the devil.
There's a lot of those. Yeah.
and but you can't, so if they don't know, you can't. So just for the posterity's sake, at the suggestion of our producer, I'm just going to ask you two questions I know the answer to, just so that you can say, did you kill your son?
Absolutely not.
And did you molest your daughter?
Absolutely not. Those are I'd rather be accused of anything else on the planet.
The two worst things and the two least likely things of me knowing you that are possible. I will say this. She knew where to hit. It's really, really, really kind of evil.
Yeah, your podcast is about grief. And I've been grieving the loss of both of my kids. And being a dad was the coolest, most important thing in my life. And it went away quickly. And so the starkness and the abruptness of that is hard. And to feel, like I mentioned before, the day of my son's accident, the helpless feeling of not being able to protect and help and recover and fix. And I think most dads, like in our dads group, we can tell that we're all like, we want to fix. I mean, men in general want to fix things, but especially I think dads that care just want to fix. We want to fix things, you know, fix our situations and make sure everything's okay. And to not be able to help that, and to not be able to help my daughter in a different, but also very dramatic way, is hard to deal with on a daily basis. And all the stuff that's been happening for the last couple months just adds up. And so I never hurt either one of my kids, nor would have I. And I never hurt my ex-wife either.
Oh,
you know?
Of course you didn't.
Yeah.
No, I do you feel like this most recent thing, although we'll get to have what it feels like to have a hit have been put out on you and whether or not that affects how you walk to the car. But do you feel like any of this particular process brings the possibility of a reconciliation a little closer with your daughter? Because there's bound to be something in her head goes, this is not right. My mother is not right.
I hope.
I mean, it's the first glimpse of sunlight since you and I have been talking about this for 5 years that I've seen. But it is a glimpse of sunlight, in my opinion. I don't know shit.
Yeah, I mean, if this gets to a trial, then a lot of the truth that have been displayed as lies for years will come out. And maybe that will help too, I hope. Yeah.
Is it possible that your ex-wife doesn't really know the truth? Like that she's off enough, that she's got enough mental...
I don't know. It's hard to know.
Problems?
It's hard to know. I mean, I haven't been around her for years now, you know. The last time I was really around her was the entire week of my son's accident. So that was almost 5 years ago.
We may have discussed this in the first part, but you know, when your kid dies, we had a very, very sick thing happen when a kid committed suicide and this mom got on with, try to sue this sage in the school. I had investigators investigating it. It absolutely was not true. And I had pity for that mom because I knew she was going through something. Then I lost that child actually. And whoever knows what his drug use was a result of that experience or not, whatever, that I realized over time and observation that when a child dies, a parent that's not healthy looks immediately for someone to blame, something to blame. They need that. A healthy parent, especially a parent of faith, will rely on that faith that they build a foundation for, accept help and support from other people around them, and deal with the issue at hand. An unhealthy person has to blame someone. This has to be someone's fault. I have to hate. That's not just your ex-wife. That's
most of the world. Yeah.
And many times they turn to complete craziness, drug addiction, alcoholism, even if they weren't before.
Yeah.
Certainly if this is common. We know a lot of guys.
Yeah.
We know a lot of guys. I mean, we know a lot of people with this grieving.
Yeah.
Your ex-wife is unfortunately just not a healthy person. I think that would be a standard that anyone would say that she adheres to. That's an unhealthy person when you try to put a hit on someone.
And you would, and yeah, I mean, there's definitely, she's trying to blame his death on something. And it's, I mean, when it happened, I'm like, why, why? Yeah, all that stuff. And it's I literally was having this conversation with somebody else earlier today. Like it was just a freak accident that it was such a freak accident that it can't be anything other than it was, I've always been a believer that things happen for a reason. We're not in control at all. And we never know when our time is going to be. And the longer I live, the more I see that. And if the sooner you can accept that and lean into all the amazing things that were on display via Grant and God or heavenly beings or everybody that we knew where he was, and he was showing us where he was and showing us he's okay. And it's just harder for everybody here that's back here that's not there. And it's hard because we love so much. That's why we hurt so much, you know?
So,
and you know, people, I think it's been tough that, on the other side of things, people have been said, oh, he's too calm on the 911 call, or he's too calm at the funeral or whatever. I mean, but I don't know. Like my own mom and I had this conversation the other night. We were riding in the car and she was like, she watched one of these podcasts and the podcasters are all in on one side, but they actually had a couple of attorneys on, and I'm not going to even name the podcast to give them any publicity at all. But they did have a couple of attorneys on, and they played the 911 call. And of course, the two podcast people were like, oh, look, doesn't that sound horrible? And the two attorneys that deal with this kind of stuff all the time in real court, in real life, are like, no, this 911 call sounds like a lot of other 911 calls. And my own mom was like, I know you, and I knew that you were not well. Like you were freaking out, but trying to stay calm.
He's faking, there's just no.
And at the funeral, I almost lost it a couple times, but I also wanted to try to be strong. I also was trying to be strong and supportive for my ex-wife and my daughter and my son, and share awesome stories about him that people didn't know, and you know.
Let me just say this. When I arrived at the scene of my son's death, I had a call that he wasn't breathing. I knew that it wasn't good, but I'm praying,
right,
yelling at God mostly, or to him, you know, begging him for another chance at this thing. And I pull up and I'm greeted by the father of the kid. He was at his house. And I said, is he okay? And he shook his head no. And I knew what that meant. And he was crying and I didn't cry. And I walked over to his friend and I said, were you guys doing drugs? And he said, I talked to him and he was sobbing and the dad was sobbing and they were sobbing. He was telling me, and they're like, tell him the truth. And I was just calm. I don't know. I felt like I was hovering above my body watching the whole scene on the ground.
Yeah.
But there was no tears.
And you're also in shock.
Michelle's on her way there because she also knew he wasn't breathing. And when she got there, she didn't have to say a word to me.
Yeah.
I didn't have to say a word to her, I should say.
Yeah,
Just looked at each other. And we walked in and she said, I want to see him. And we walked in. And then I had to be 15, 20 minutes. I hadn't shed a tear. I hadn't raised my voice. I had squatted down and a cop came over and said, are you okay, sir? And I said, I don't know. I mean,
right.
I don't know what okay is. When we went in and saw him and Michelle lay down on the ground with him, I cried rivers because it took that. But I was in shock to that moment.
Oh, you're in shock.
I was very calmly.
You're in numb.
Asking like
it
mattered.
And then at the accident scene, the last thing on my mind was that he wouldn't be alive. I knew it was bad.
Yeah.
I just knew it was bad, that we needed professionals there, not four dudes trying to pick up a truck, but we need professionals. But the last thing on my mind is that he wasn't alive or wasn't going to make it. I mean, you know, it's not a good place to be at a hospital and you're the only one there and you're with the chaplain and the doctors come in and tell you. I mean, I lost it like I've never lost it in my life. I'm rolling around in the floor at the hospital, losing my absolute mind. But up until then, I'm trying to stay calm. I'm trying to be with it. I'm trying to let people know, hey, come to the hospital. You know, I'm not thinking that he's gone. I'm not thinking that he's not coming back.
Yeah. I mean,
and you never know. Nobody knows how they're going to react.
I was going to say,
nobody knows
when you lose it. I lose it sometimes still, but I don't know when. I can't predict when I'm going to lose it. There's such a BS argument, especially normally from someone who's never had anything go wrong. And I'll be honest, men, women, but every single person responds to something like that differently. If you told me I wouldn't have just dropped on the ground and started crying, I didn't know. And I remember the cop saying, are you okay? And I was squatting like with my feet like on the ground. And I was like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, when I first glanced down and first saw Grant under the truck, I almost fainted. my knees went weak. I went to the ground, but pulled out my phone and called 911. So, I mean, I literally tried I was going to hyperventilate. I was like, I've got to be calm. I got to call 911. We got to get people here. But I literally went to the ground because I almost fainted, but I didn't lose it and cry because I knew we needed pros there. But yeah, though, I mean, there's been so much different emotion, and with what has happened with my ex-wife and trying to hire hitmen, our family hasn't been able to grieve my dad's death. So that's on pause, but also there at the same time, you know, all this, there's so many things. And then I mentioned all of this is graduation time for all of his friends. It's graduation from high school it's college graduation for his friends, and he would be graduating. It's high school graduation for my daughter. And he's got so many friends that are still doing well in baseball. One of his friends that he played travel ball with and against in high school hit a game-winning home run last night in the conference semifinals of a college tournament off of another kid that my son played with and against. Another kid that he was close friends with and played with just made first team all conference the other day, and they're in conference tournament play. So I'm seeing a lot of his friends doing awesome things in their baseball careers. And a guy that he played with just got called up to the big leagues. Another one is trying to make it up to the big leagues. And another one that he beat in the state tournament as a sophomore just got to the big leagues. You know, like, I've got all that coming at me every day too. It's been a heavy time.
Yeah.
In just so many different angles. And yeah, there's a lot.
Do you have any looking over my shoulder, or do you feel like that was an isolated
I'm looking over my shoulder.
Just tack that onto this, pile that on.
Oh, there's that. Yeah, I've got my head on a swivel because on that 45 minutes of audio, she very much well described where I live, how to get in there, where I live, both of my vehicles, one of my license plates that was custom. It was LL Grant, Love Light Grant. I got rid of that.
Yeah.
After that was all over the internet. She described in detail where I work out, that there could be people at the gym where I work out, let her know when I'm there, had people follow me home. I mean, there are a lot of people that are justifying what she tried to do, justifying it. Like, it's okay. Like, there was one woman who made a comment the other day that was like, just a couple of days ago, that was like, he should be dead. You know, like, so head on a swivel every day and not comfortable.
You ever thought about selling your cars and moving to a different house?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably all the time. Right?
Well, even to a different.
Yeah, I'll say this:
a different city.
You have
or a different country, or
we've talked about it before.
But I said it before. There's part of me that's like, well, then all that's going to do is the other side's going to say, look, he's guilty. He's running. He's escaped. We can't find him. We don't know where he is. But no, I'm just going to stand here and take it and be here. And, it
has to be God that keeps.
I hope there's not a person that succeeds.
No, it's just, people like that are cowards. That's the reason that the person, whoever she felt comfortable in, by the way, thank you to that person.
Yes, thank you to the person
thank you for
went
going
to
the
authorities.
Thank you, because that's the first brave thing that anyone that she happens to be close with has done, because most of this is cowardly.
Correct.
Cowardly piling on BS. The people that show up to picket things, they don't know what they're picketing.
Yeah.
Part of me wants to, like, and even in my situation, I'm just joking around with another dude, but just go smoke meth in Key West and it's hard. Like, life's hard. Mm-hmm. Something keeps me from doing that and puts me in here instead with you and I talking in our group of men. It's just amazing. We talk about that, this great group of people that we get to kind of share and do life with and do that. Anyway, that thing has to be God. It has to be. But when I look at your situation, you're kind of like, man, how do you get yourself out of this one, God? You know, do you ever do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Untie this for me, please. Because
yeah. And how much longer does this stuff go on? Because I don't know how much longer I can take this stuff, you know?
I would have been gone. And I don't say that as I'm glad that you're not, but I tell you, I know you did the right thing by not going. Because you said,
but it still crosses my mind.
You should have faced it. And by the way, sometime,
you know,
there's a saying we have in AA. Sorry, I'm not supposed to mention AA. There's a saying we have in recovery. It's not okay to go until it's okay to stay. There's no geographical cures for anything. So
true.
Wherever you were going to go.
No, and I understand just running from your problem doesn't really help. But
when it's okay to stay.
But I can tell you that anytime that I do get out of town somewhere where nobody knows me, it feels kind of nice. And you know how that can be.
I would have been there. So it's interesting. We have our little place in Florida that we haven't been to in a long time now. And
recovering from flood after flood. And Michelle always says, I don't go to the grocery store here because I always run into the sweetest people, by the way. They say just old teachers or whatever. And they wind up with a story. And it's like, I wind up crying in the grocery store and have this thing. I just order groceries. But we go to Florida. Nobody knows us. We just, you're in and out of there and we got hair on top of our heads and we're in flip-flops and bathing suits or whatever. And there's a freedom in just the lack of being analyzed by everyone and everything. I mean, surely that's tempting, but you've been through a lot now. Is there any part of you that feels just invincible? Like, bring it on. No.
Or, no more bring it on.
No more, please. I'm
Uncle.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's the white flag? I've had enough.
I mean, it's enough. It hasn't been.
Well, and it's just been a really hard stretch here since we taped last. It's been 5 years of a tough stretch. And actually, what a lot of people don't know is it started years before with a lot of this stuff, of the accusations of stuff that I've been investigated prior. So,
and you have been kind on here, by the way, because I know things about this situation and about your ex-wife that you haven't said on here that you could, and you're not slinging mud, throwing dirt. I respect it.
Oh, I could say a whole lot more. I'm
also happy that you came here and talked about it, because I do feel like it's at some point it's like, I offered this at one time and you just have been very, very serene about this as best you can.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to do anything to hurt my daughter. And that is the Solomon story in this to me, because the cut the baby in half lady didn't get the baby, right? Everyone knows the story of Solomon. If you don't look it up, you probably should be reading more Bible.
Right.
But you weren't willing to cut the baby in half. You had, even through all this, were like, I don't want to hurt my daughter, so I'm not going to go shouting from the rooftops what this thing is. I do feel like I'm happy that you agreed to talk about it. To me, I think that you're going to help a lot of people somehow.
And that's the thing, is your podcast and talking to people who are going through hard things shows other people. There's a lot of other people out there going through hard things, which we knew, but we know more from the dads group that we keep adding on to, that started off with 5 and now it's 25 or 30, and we'll keep growing. And we typically have somewhere between 8 and 13 here on any given month. But there's other people. I mean, we've got one dad in the group that's lost all his kids and his dad all within a year. Yeah. And I'm like,
1 year.
Okay, well, I thought I had it bad. Well, he's got it, and that's a different kind of bad. Now, mine has been very public in social media and different, trying to attack my character and where I've been most of my life, where I've went to school, where I've worked in various jobs and careers, changed careers,
public
and
jobs,
public job, and it's hard to, it's not fun to be thought of that you've done any of the bad things that said that you've done. That's not fun to be where you grew up and have tons of friends and connections and stuff. And there's been people that don't want to be connected the last few years. You know, it's, you know, the whole find out who your friends are thing. I don't have that many that are like this. And you know how that is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
interesting how the cream rises to the top very
that
clearly.
song, the lyrics and all that's legit in life. And it's tough. I mean, I get it in some ways because people are like, they don't want to get drug into the drama, but the few that are like right there at your side, that means a lot. And I won't name them by name, but they know who they are, and I'll thank them right now because it helps.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have anybody, I mean.
Yeah. I will say.
Because it's amazing how they scatter.
Yeah. Well, first of all, people don't want. What did someone say to me? I don't know enough about it. It's a couple casual conversations. Most people that they know that we're friends and whatever, and saying, "Oh, I'm saying I don't know anything. I'm picking sides." I'm like, well, I'm definitely picking sides because like no one, including Aaron, is not taking up for himself. This man isn't capable of killing his son. This just didn't happen.
Anyone, let alone my son.
Yeah. But by the way, of Grant in particular, that was your life. Like it was so, so clearly, and just look at the facts and the things that are there. So I am picking sides, and I am taking your back, and I do support you, and you are my friend, and you've been a great friend, and you're a great friend to these guys in this group, and you show up at funerals of other kids and support parents. Somebody needs to know that. You're not online disparaging something. You're not even disparaging the crazy person that's ruining your life because you don't want to hurt your daughter. Yeah. You are the mother in the story of Solomon that chose to, give her the baby, just don't cut it in half.
Yeah.
And she's cutting the baby in half. So if there's someone out there that stops watching our podcast because they don't like how I did it, I don't really care.
No, I appreciate your friendship and support, and there are other people out there that have defended me to other people that have tried to raise up questions to them, and I do appreciate that. But I think the people who know me know.
So real quick, tell me, you're out of town when this happened. Just this when you found out that she took out a hit on you. You were out of town and you got a phone call from TBI.
One of my best friends, he was getting married, and Friday evening, it's both of their second marriage, so it wasn't a big as formal thing. So the Friday night, the wedding's on Saturday. Friday night, I'm out of town, and it was just people coming into town, starting to gather, checking into the hotel, and hanging out, starting to gather. And it's like, I don't know, 5:30 in the evening, and I got a call, and I was like, for some reason, I thought I needed to answer it, and it was a TBI calling, and I'm like, "Hey, are you?" And they were like, "Hey, are you at home?" And I'm like, "No."
Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. They're like, "You're at home? Are you at home?" And I said, "No." And they said, "Well, I've got a man at your door right now." So I was like, "Oh, okay. What?" And I figured it had to do something with my ex-wife, but I said, "No, I'm actually out of town." And they said, "Well, we didn't want to tell you this over the phone, but since you're out of town, we'll go ahead and tell you your ex-wife's been arrested. She tried to hire someone to kill you, and she's being booked right now." And my heart sank, and my heart rate went up like a million instantly. And I'm just like, I was in disbelief. I was in shock. I was like, "You have got to be kidding me. Like this is not real. This is not really happening to me." Like it's everybody's saying like, you're like a Dateline episode or a 2020 episode or a true crime, documentary on court TV or something. But it's your life, and it just keeps going, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Like don't get much bigger than that, except for succeeding in what was attempted to be done.
Gotta say, bigger.
But I was in shock. I'm in shock. I'm like in total disbelief. It's like, holy cow, what? Like really? And then once I got off the phone with them, it was like, I called my sister and my mom, and they were together, thankfully. So that was helpful. And they were just like, what? Like, what? You're kidding, right? What? No. Yes. And then I called my ex-wife's sister and let that side of the family know, because I was like,
because they've been supportive of you.
Yeah.
This whole time. Her parents,
me and the
her
kids,
sister are supportive of you.
And so,
and they know, and your daughter, who has unfortunately been brainwashed by,
they want to support her too. They've not talked to her in
but
5 years either.
Yeah. So people don't understand that. It's kind of hard. Well, why would someone say that? Think about the whole story. Her parents, we know how much we love kids. Her parents are supporting you.
Yeah.
That's loud.
And have for 12 years. 12 years.
But certainly the last five.
But even more so the last 5, but even for 12 prior.
Usually parents blindly support their children into
correct.
Whatever craziness they go into. Her parents have been supporting you the whole time.
Correct.
That's telling. That should be said.
And I said, it'll be on the news probably here, and then one station contacted me maybe an hour later. It was like, hey, would you do a Zoom interview? And I was like, no. And it was on that night at 10 o'clock when I got the call at 5:30. And then it's just been a whirlwind ever since, with different entities reaching out, wanting interviews. And
okay, so your ex-wife raised $250,000.
It was about, starting in 2021 or 2022, she started raising on 2 different GoFundMes. It was about $190,000. Yeah, and now I know other people donated not on GoFundMe too.
So let's just round it off at $200,000 that she's raised for what purpose?
Various online. I mean, you can go to the GoFundMes and see. One was designated for Grant, and one was designated for Gracie. Different things. Like I think one might have been to try to do a accident recreation and pay for that. One I think was for the cost of exhuming him from the grave.
Has she done any of that with this money that she's raised?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I mean, he hasn't been exhumed. I know that.
Is the money still there?
I don't know.
Because
I would doubt it.
According to the tape just a bit that I heard, she didn't have enough money to pay the hitman, so she gave him her car title. Where's the $200,000?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. So
she doesn't have enough money to pay. By the way, I mean, this is kind of funny. Right. But you're only worth $5,000. I mean, I really thought you'd be worth more than that.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Gosh, someone really willing to put a murder rap on themselves for $5,000? Wow. What's the likelihood of getting away with murder?
Yeah, it was humbling.
At some point, it's so crazy I had to laugh.
I know. I was. That has been a joke since that came out in court a few weeks ago. That I've been humbled by how much I'm worth. I'm worth $5,000.
As if you need to be humbled anymore. I will say that our dad's group after the hitman attempt was interesting. We had like good nervous laughs, like. Really, like everyone's like, should we shut the curtains? You know what I mean?
Don't sit close to Aaron. Nobody sit close to me. Nobody's sitting next to me.
I was sitting.
Of course, you and I sit with. You're like, back, so not in the path of the window. No, I mean, at some point you have to laugh and joke about some of this stuff. But yeah, that was an interesting night for the dad's group to that be a topic for conversation for, and that was before all the audio came out too. That was before all the audio came out.
Yeah,
yeah.
That I don't know where or how to close this. I'm super grateful to you for opening up. If there's anything that I can do, I'm there, and I just encourage people that are uninformed of something to be. I have been falsely accused of something before, and it's been and it's the Sage thing, and it was absolutely debunked. The whole thing.
Yeah.
The accusation was very loud and very public, and it was on TV, on your station, actually. And they went on and talked about whatever. The debunking and the judge admonishing this woman for abusing the court system for personal gain and publicity was very quiet.
Yeah.
Very quiet. No one said anything.
Yeah.
They were turned down, and the judge admonished her attorney for being an ambulance chaser. That's not what he said, but that's, and for using this court for that kind of, there was absolutely nothing that forced bringing this up except for this crazy ambulance chasing attorney who, by the way, had a bunch of other cases like that at the same time. If we hadn't had amazing people, Rob Peel, thank you very much out there, as an amazing lawyer that made them pony up, they were going to put us through 2 years of misery. So at some point we're like, okay, can we pay you to get this to go away? It's evil what these fuckers do. And it pisses me off. I have been falsely accused. It is horribly painful. It's unfair. Yeah. And you know what? At some point, I don't think I've ever talked about Sage's suit on this thing. And I try to really be kind and forgiving, and it's the way my life needs to go. And I need to do what as close to what Jesus would do as I'm capable of. Right. But every now and then,
it's hard, man.
You got to kick something over.
Well, it's hard. And I think, we talk about, you asked me about why have I not talked about this stuff publicly? And the number one reason was my daughter. But then it's also at some point too, now that she's 18, she needs to hear truth things.
She does
instead of just hearing lies for years.
And even if she only hears about this secondhand, she'll hear about this.
Yeah.
One step at a time, one day at a time. I see light at my prayer is for your reconciliation with your daughter.
Well, that's my prayer too.
It's totally my prayer for you. And
it may never happen, but but there's some hope. I just hold out hope.
One day at a time. And I think today is closer than the last time we met through the craziest set of circumstances and ever on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
I think you're closer to that. She needs to hear that. She needs to hear your innocence. She needs to hear maybe that she got brainwashed by an unwell person. And there's hope. There's always hope, man. And you know what? You're going to see Grant. I'm going to see Grant. I can't wait to meet him. If we believe what we believe.
The thing is, we talk about it a lot ever since our son's deaths, is that we're not afraid of death. But I will tell you, that's the whole balance of I've never been the paranoid type. Never in my whole life. I'm not even afraid of storms. I've never been afraid of storms or tornadoes or dying in a tornado.
Because of that storm tracker on Channel 4.
But I also, with what's just happened, in my head on a swivel, I want to balance not being afraid to die. It's not that I'm afraid to die, but I also don't want to be picked off by a Looney Tune. Right? I want to be careful.
I'm not afraid to die, but I do care how I die. I really would like to have some dignity about it.
I'd rather it not be just some Looney Tune coming after me because they believe something they saw on Facebook or Instagram or a podcast or a blog.
Yeah.
So there's I wrestle with that. I'm like, all right, if I go today, I get to see Grant again, but I really don't want it to be like that.
You want to have a good story for Grant when you see him.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're already going to start off after you hug him with, you're not going to believe this.
Or he'd be like, I was watching the whole time, Dad. It was reality TV up here for us,
Yeah. I mean, honestly, there's grace and forgiveness for everyone. I do feel like it was a good time for you to talk. Thank you for talking, but I do feel like it's time for you.
Thanks for the
story to have been heard. Absolutely, my pleasure.
Well, it means more because of our friendship and what we've been through, and you were right there at the beginning. As we said last time with Grant, and willing to talk, and you've been a big help in my journey. So
when I mentioned this to you the first time, which was the last season of this that we did. You were like, at some point, yes, but you told me about just your daughter not being 18 yet, and did it, and you said, there's going to be negative backlash in this, and I just said I don't care.
Yeah.
And that's you find out who your friends are. I don't care. You've been through so much, and you've handled it well, and I just hope that this is the beginning of some reconciliation for you and certainly validity, and also with the knowledge that there are going to be a crazy group of people out there anywhere that are going to just believe what they want to believe, and they're going to pick it while everybody else is at work. And I don't know what you do with those people.
Yeah.
We just move on.
Yeah.
So I hope I get some hate mail. I haven't had hate mail ever, I don't think so.
Well, just watch out.
Yeah.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for. Yeah,
careful what you wish for, man.
Yeah,
be careful what you wish for. But no, thank you.
I tend to not be scared of like dudes that live in their mom's basement with purple hair, but one of them will probably kick my ass. I don't know. I'm good with it. All right, dude. Thank you, man. I love you, bro.
Love you, man.